Listen, musicians, I don't care how strong the church is. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how strong the worship is. I don't care how nice the pastor is. I don't care what they promised you. Get you a contract. Get you a signed agreement stating your duties and your responsibilities along with the church or ministry that you serve. Too many musicians have been getting fired on the spot because there's nothing in place to protect them. And so you need to get you a contract. Amen. We know that business is done when service is over. And so you need to take care of yourself, protect yourself. So when folks get tired of you or you've done something that they don't like, they just can't throw you in the trash can and move on because you have a contract. God bless.
I think this is a dope conversation. This is something that I advocate for a lot as musicians to be business savvy when it comes to working and dealing with churches. Because what do I always say? If you've been following, if you pay attention, I always say you don't get what you want, you get what you negotiate. So I think it's fair, especially if you're being paid, and most church musicians that are playing for churches are 1099 employees. You're getting a 1099 at the end of the year, right? Which means that they are paying you as what, boys and girls? A contractor. So if you are being paid as a contractor and you do not have a contract, then that's a problem. You're not doing the business right. You haven't done the business right. So if you're being paid as a contractor, you should have a contract in place. You know what I'm saying? These are easy. You can find templates for contracts online. You can chat GPT a contract if you just really so need one, but they're easy to pull up and just get you a nice little formal agreement that states the simplicity of this is what being brought in for. This is what the pay is. This is what the responsibilities are. So there is no question when things get weird. And I think just me, this is like a personal take. I think you should do this even if you're not being paid. Even if you are the guy or gal that you just love to give your gift to the Lord and is as unto the Lord and all of those things like that, and you don't want to get paid and you don't think that you think money is evil and you want to, you got another, or, positively, you got another job outside of this and you work and take care of your family and you feel like you don't, or business or whatever, you feel like you don't want to take from the church. All good points, all good things. Nothing wrong with that. Not demonizing either or. But I still think even if you are giving your gift as unto the Lord to a church, you should still have a contract in place. You should still have a basic agreement that just says this is what this is. So that way, when things get weird, because they will get weird, they always get weird. There is something in place that you can point to that dictates your responsibilities of what they will and will not do. You know what I mean? So if your contract says we have rehearsal on Thursday night, we have service on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, Bible study or whatever, your attendance is required, and we have sound check on Sunday at 7 o'clock, and service starts at 8 and it's going to be over around this time or what have you. And that is the agreement there. You know what I'm saying? That's the baseline of the agreement. Well, when they do extra services, revivals, conferences, all of those different things like that, you don't want to get hung out to dry because they're like, yo, yeah, like our agreement says that, we're just paying you for Wednesdays and Sundays. All of this other stuff is volunteer. You know what I mean? But they expect for you to be there. You don't think that can happen? I have had it happen to me, and I have seen it happen to other musicians and had them talk about it and be, basically pissed off because they're like, yo, like they said they weren't paying me for this night, but there wasn't any agreement that you signed. You know what I mean? So I think it's highly important, highly important that you get something in writing that gives that and also covers you in those events of all of those things. Like I did a contract with a church, last church that I was at, we did a contract and it listed out all of the stipulations of what my requirements were and also what the extra pay was when I had to do extra services or anything extra that was required. You know what I mean? Because as you continue to grow in this thing, you know, depending on where you are in the church and where you are as a musician, you might start doing stems. You might start doing click tracks. You might have to start running sound. You might have to start doing all of these other extra responsibilities that weren't in the initial shake hand agreement. We're not talking about the contract agreement, but there was an initial agreement. They get you in the door, they get you acclimated to the ministry, and then they start adding all these other extra responsibilities that wasn't agreed upon at first. So that's the biggest stipulation with a contract, that you can lock in all of those things and say, this is what I'm here to do, this is what I'm being paid to do, and if I'm having to do anything else outside of that scope, it is up for the negotiation of what that pay is going to be for said thing or what have you. And then if you feel like it needs to change, you jump in and you add more to it. You know what I mean? You renegotiate that contract. And I think that's a good practice. Again, if you are a contractor for your church, you should have a contract. And that's just my perspective on it. That's what I think about it. You guys can let me know what you guys think. I'm always interested to hear what you got. Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy John Mike. If you've been rocking with my content and you want to go beyond what YouTube allows, what social media allows, that's exactly why I created my Patreon. Over there, I break down the real side of music tech, business, how this industry actually works, the creative side. I'm talking exclusive podcasts with your favorite creators. And there's 3 ways that you can join. There's a support tier that starts at just $5 a month. That's for people who just want to support my work and get early access to the content that I create. The Creator Plus tier goes deeper into the tools, the workflows, the plugins, everything that I use to create and scale out my content. And then there's the Business Plus tier. This is where we talk strategy, monetization, ownership, all of the things that I do to make money, how I scaled a 7-figure company, how you can do it too, asking questions, all of the crazy things that you want to know about how to build a sustainable, real career in music. So if you're really ready to take this to the next level and grow your creative business this year, then please join me over there at Patreon. The link is down below. I'll talk to you guys over there. Let's get it.